And now.
That's the middle shot. He scores! Slips it off to Wyatt Matthews. He's in! Eagles take the lead!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Welcome to Sports Talk, the number one sports podcast in the Philadelphia area. Come on out here, Brodes. This episode of Sports Talk with Brodes is brought to you by Sports R Philly. Sports R Philly contains a wide variety of great blogs across the Philadelphia area. You can follow them on Twitter at Sports R Philly or check out their website, www.sportsrphilly.com.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at sportsandbrodes, and this is where you will find out when my latest podcast has dropped. You can also call into the show using your voice recording app and sending it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com. We have the 76ers to talk about. Now, they lose a game to the Washington Wizards. First game of the year. Joel Embiid was not on a minutes restriction because he ended up playing way more than the 15 to 16 minutes that they said he would play. Now, they fall. And there were some positives to take out of this game. But I'm done with the positives. I'm done with the positives and losing. It's time to start winning. They fall by 5, 120 to 115, but they had chances to win the game at the end. They had two brutal turnovers. I believe Bayless on the one side, and then it comes over to Robert Covington on the left side, and two big turnovers under a minute left that could have gave them a tie ball game or take the lead with the three in the corner. Covington had a great game, though. 29 points. 7 3-point shots. Fell. He had 7 boards as well. Joel Embiid had 18 points, 13 rebounds. Ben Simmons, 18 points, 10 rebounds. J.J. Redick with 12 points and 4 3-pointers. Dario Saric had a rough game, only getting 3 points, 1 for 5. He had a rough game, 23 minutes. I expect him to play a little bit more than 23 minutes, though. And Fultz with 10 points. And he had some ugly free throw shooting. I saw some Twitter memes going around of the Space Jam guys sneaking in and stealing his powers. I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently an AAU coach is trying to fix his shot over the summer. Why are we doing this? Why? His shot looked fine at Washington. I don't know with him. He's scaring me a little bit, but I understand how early it is for his NBA career. But it's just not what I expected originally right out of the gates for him. I obviously had high expectations for the kid, and there's gonna be some growing pains, and I totally understand that. So I'm not just gonna go in and start bashing him right away, because he's got time to learn, and he needs the time. It's a tough transition, so we'll see how that works. I mean, he definitely has a skill set. He just needs to learn the game at this pace, at this level. Just the jump shot form thing is kind of freaking me out a little bit. I don't know why that's a thing. So, I had some points here. Ben Simmons looked great. He looked the way I thought he would. The way he sees the floor is like no other. I've been through this many times. But now to see it in a real NBA game, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. They play the Celtics tonight, 7 o'clock, at the Wells Fargo. And we're going to get a W. Like I said, I'm over the learning curves that this team needs. It's time to win now. J.J. Redick, after the game, I'm just paraphrasing here. He doesn't like taking the positives from a loss. This team is going to make playoffs That's the mindset he has, and he knows what it takes to win in this league. This is how it's going to be every night. You're going to have to decide if you're going to win these close games or not in the NBA. But he's done taking positives, and he's ready to win now, and that is what we wanted out of a veteran guy like J.J. Redick to come in here. He knows what it takes to win and make playoffs. He's done it with the Clippers. Not that he's won anything over there, but he had a very strong team that makes the playoffs. So he knows what it takes and the mindset and the work ethic. He knows. So that's huge to have him. I want to know, Brett Brown, where Skinny Ja was. I know Jahlil Okafor isn't going to be some absolute stud or anything, but he didn't even play. I mean, where was he? Is he that bad? I mean, he's skinnier. He came in shape this year. He looks different. I don't know. Throw the guy in there, I feel, at some point. Did not play. Just interesting. In the back of my mind, I know he's not going to be stealing Embiid's minutes or anything, but I would think that I would see him on the court for some minutes, a little bit, to just have him sit on the bench the whole game. But it's just great to have basketball. It's great to have the Eagles, the Sixers, and the Flyers, who took a hard fall last night to Nashville 1-0, but they still look like a decent squad. It's crazy to have them play every night. Oh, the Flyers are on tonight. Can't wait to watch. Oh, the Sixers are on the next night. I can't wait to watch. Oh, the Eagles play Monday night? That's awesome because the Sixers play Tuesday. And then the Flyers play Wednesday. It's just awesome to be able to say stuff like that. My roommate, when we were watching the game against the Washington Wizards the other night, says, "Oh, I didn't even see you watch the Sixers last year." Because I was starting to scream at the TV like it's an Eagles game. When I started clapping and yelling at the refs, he goes, "Oh, not for this too." Because I get crazy for those Eagles games. But yes, for this too, for the Sixers. And of course, yeah, you know what? I wasn't sitting there at college in my apartment streaming to watch the Sixers last year because I wasn't dying to watch some crap basketball we put on the floor. But this is different. This is the turnaround. Then I told him how we trust the process. And what do you see? You see the fans of the Philadelphia 76ers in Washington chanting, "Trust the process" on TV 2 minutes after I said that to him. And he started cracking up. We're going to beat the Celtics tonight. We're going to be at home. Wells Fargo is going to be absolutely rocking. And we're going to get the W. Lonzo Ball made his debut last night, and it wasn't a good one. His stat line was 3 points. He had 1 bucket. He had 9 rebounds and 4 assists, which is weird because you would think he'd have the most assists with the way he sees the floor. Now, it's only one game. They lost to the Clippers. I just think this Lakers team has a little bit more growing pains than they thought they were coming in. Now, I don't know if that was just LeVar Ball talking all that smack during the summer, how they're making playoffs and all that garbage. But after the game, Stephen A. Smith and him went at it a little bit. LeVar said that Lonzo had a great game. And Stephen A. was like, "What game are you watching?" Started freaking out in his voice. LeVar Ball, what a character. Seriously, what a character. But it's great. It builds the brand. The big baller brand is a thing. But Lonzo did struggle in his first game in LA. And like I said, it's only one game. And the way he sees the floor, you can't teach. So yeah, he needs to keep just grinding away, making the passes that he makes. That's his game. He makes a lot of passes. He can obviously learn to be a better shooter. He's not the greatest shooter in the world, but his game style is going to be the way he moves the ball. And the Thunder win. Last night, Russell Westbrook gets another triple-double, and the Thunder go on to beat the Knicks. And what are the odds they open up against the Knicks with Carmelo trading? And then the Cavs-Celtics thing, same thing. What are the odds of that? Pretty crazy. But like I said, they beat the Knicks with a score of 105-84. It was a little bit of a blowout. Porzingis had 31 points and 12 rebounds, which is a juicy amount of points. Looking for the big guys on the Thunder. Russell Westbrook, 21 points, 16 assists, 10 rebounds. Paul George with 28 points, 6 rebounds. And Carmelo with 22 points. They had a breakdown on ESPN of the Thunder, of Russell Westbrook, with plays from last year when he's under the basket and what he does with the ball. He either finds somebody who can't shoot, like Victor Oladipo, or he's running the ball out to shoot it himself. But this year, he's underneath the basket, kicks it out to Carmelo, starts running down the floor with his finger up, knowing it's going to go in and not even looking. And that's the difference with this Thunder squad compared to Russell Westbrook and the Thunder squad by himself. It's a totally different ball game now. And this is going to be a fun game to watch, a fun team to watch. They're going to be able to hang around. Definitely going to be able to hang around. I don't know if it's... I'm not going there. I'm just going to stop myself right there. And we will move along. I won't even let you know what I was about to say. But let's move along. Great NBA talk. Isn't that awesome? Some NBA talk with a little sports talk with Brodes. We got to throw this in here next. The Dodgers advanced to the World Series. Hernandez with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. They did it. 29-year drought, I believe it was. Just amazing. They will see who they will host between Houston and the Yankees. I don't know why I have a feeling the Yankees are going to do it. And the one thing that I do like is the storyline. I hate that it's a New York team. I really do. And the Yankees, out of everybody, I know. It might be a sin to say this. But you win a wild card game. You're down 2-0 in the ALDS, and you come back and win 3 straight. You're down 2-0 in the ALCS, and you come back to win 3 straight. Now, I know they still have to finish the deal. They got to go back to Houston now for Game 6 and potentially 7, so it's not over. But they look hot right now. They do. And say they do win this series and they do play the Dodgers in the World Series, I kind of hope they go down 2-0 and make it happen again. I'm sorry. As a Philadelphia fan, I am sorry. But listen, I'm a sports fan. I'm a sportsman, and I love the stories. I love the great stories that you just can't write up. So am I shooting for the Yankees a little bit? We'll see how the rest of this Houston series go. But if they do pull it off, I don't know. I don't know the way my heart is going to roll. How do you think Vin Scully's feeling? Obviously, he's very excited. Don't get me wrong. That was kind of a stupid question. But don't you think he really wishes he was going to call this one? I mean, the Dodgers make the World Series the year after he retires. Or everything happens for a reason, and they're playing for Vin. I don't know. I'm just thinking, how does Vin Scully feel right now, knowing that he could have been calling this masterful run? So congratulations to the Dodgers for finally getting to the World Series. It should be interesting, and I can't wait to see who you guys play. But let's kick NFL. With Brodes, Zeke can play again. This is unbelievable. I mean, it really is crazy on what is going on with this Ezekiel Elliott thing. he just keeps pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. He could have been done with it after his bye week, right? So, oh no, they already had their bye week. I'm sorry. After this 49ers game, this upcoming week, it would have been all over. But he keeps pushing it back. So now he can play again against the 49ers. Great. You would have won without him. You would have won without him. So I feel like this is only going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys running down the back stretch of the season when they need it. Think about it. You got the 49ers now, the Redskins, the Chiefs, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Chargers. If you keep pushing this back, say, 3 more weeks, so you play your first suspension is against the Eagles. Then you got the Chargers, the Skins, the Giants, the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Eagles again. I mean, these are the games at the end of the season when you need to get the W's to get where you need to catch the Eagles, essentially, where we are now. Those are the big games. Those are the moments you're going to need Zeke Elliott, and he's going to be sitting on the bench rather than if he just didn't play against the Cardinals, Rams, Packers, which he opted to get his restraining order and play. They would have had the same exact record they have now if he didn't play, right? I mean, they're not doing that great. I just don't see why he doesn't just sack it up, get it over with, and then play the back end of the season, which is the most important part, to get his team ready to go for playoffs. But hey, whatever, not complaining, right? Cannot complain. But this league and this court case is a joke. It's a joke. He's suspended, he's not. He's suspended, he's not. Get it done. Whatever needs to happen, just get it done. Teddy Bridgewater practices again, which was a beautiful sight to see when you watched him out there on the practice field. I know he's not ready to go or anything, but it's awesome. The guy had a horrible injury. He had to sit out a long time, and it was a non-contact injury, if I remember, and it was in maybe 1 week before the season even started. So I feel for the man, and he comes out, and he's finally gets back out there and does what he loves to do. So it's a step in the right direction. So it's awesome for the Vikings. It's awesome for Teddy Bridgewater as a player, as a person, and I'm very happy for him. And I hope he comes out and does what he needs to do and can get himself back on the field. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to, be the start of next year, whatever. But very happy for him to take the right steps in the right direction. Chiefs-Raiders last night, Thursday Night Football. Fantastic game. Amari Cooper finally getting me some fantasy points. Holy hell. Finally. I need this. I'm sitting at 2-4 right now. A win this week will put me at 3-4, and I will finally be able to start pushing back into the middle of the pack. I can't fall behind. But the Chiefs-Raider game ended in a way that I've never seen a game end. The final score was 31-30. Looking at some of the stat lines, both quarterbacks played great. Alex Smith, 342 yards, 3 interceptions. Kareem Hunt ran for 87 yards on 18 carries, but also had 30 yards on 4 receptions. Raiders, Derek Carr, fantastic game, 417 yards, 3 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thank you very much. That is what I needed from you. Going back to Kareem Hunt, though. He is the second player ever to reach 1,000 scrimmage yards in the first 7 games. He is so awesome to watch. He's always good for a breakout run. It's so beautiful. I love the way this guy runs the football. Marshawn Lynch got ejected from the game because Derek Carr got hit. He runs from the sideline, wasn't even in the game, runs from the sideline, puts his helmet on, and then he ends up shoving a ref after the tussle. That can't happen. That cannot happen. And apparently he left after the game. Didn't stick around in the locker room or anything. So, I don't know what's going to happen. He's obviously going to get suspended from the league. Who knows what the head coach is going to do about the situation. But at the end of this game, it was nuts. Nuts. Oakland down 6. Marches all the way downfield. It was around a minute and so left. They march all the way downfield. They thought they had a touchdown. It ends up being shy on the pylon can, and it's at the half-yard line. So at the half-yard line, Derek Carr throws a touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree, but offensive pass interference. It shows a push-off. Tony Romo did not like the call. He thought at that point of the game and throwing a man-to-man coverage like that, both players are going to be holding onto each other and pretty much grabbing for a position. But no, I kind of believe that there was pass interference on the play. Michael Crabtree clearly extended his hands, and it was a little bit too much. So then they get pushed back. Derek Carr throws an incomplete pass over the middle to Cook, but there was a penalty on the defense. Holding. 5 yards penalty. So now there are 0 seconds on the clock. And they get another free play. Derek Carr passes incomplete short. Up the middle. Penalty on Kansas City. Defensive holding. Then they get another shot at it with 0 seconds on the clock. And Derek Carr passes it for a 2-yard touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree. So they got pushed back originally for an offensive, then 2 flags in a row on the defense, 0 seconds left on the clock, and just extended time. And they finally get it done at the end with their last opportunity to Michael Crabtree. Now, the only thing that sucks about that is he's the only person I didn't want to go to because I'm playing Michael Crabtree in fantasy. So after Amari gets me an amazing amount of points, you're going to give him a little bit to fight with Michael Crabtree. And I need to go 3-4 this week. I can't be doing the butt slide. I won't allow it. Amari Cooper got me 38.5 points. God damn, he hasn't done that all year for me. I was thinking about even trading him because he's been that awful. But that touchdown gave Crabtree 10 points. So it gave him like a little bit of a fight back there. But seriously, speaking of the Thursday night football game, that was truly one of the most wild finishes I've seen in a while. And the fact that it's on Thursday night football is great. And to make it even better, I like to see Kansas City lose because now the Eagles have the best record. After a win against Washington, maybe 6-1, best record in the NFL. Just throwing it out there. And let's finish off this episode with an NHL segment. The New Jersey Devils. What is going on with them? They are now 6-1, I believe. Let's check it. New Jersey is 6-1 with 12 points leading the Metropolitan. In what world? They were one of the worst teams in the NHL last year. You get the first overall draft pick, and this is what happens. He scored his first 2 goals, by the way. Nico scores his first 2 goals last night. Philadelphia hanging around 4-3. We need to make sure we win out this homestand, which is going to be tough. After a loss last night to Nashville, we have to play the Ducks, the Oilers. I think those are the last 2 games on our homestand. We need to win those games and come out 6-3 after this homestand here in Philadelphia. I wanted to sweep it. I did. We gotta stay above 500, or we're gonna fall behind quickly, very quickly. Wow, the Kings holding the Pacific down 5-0-1, and Vegas 5-1. Which come on, how is that a thing? How crazy would it be if the Vegas Knights are so solid they can contend for the Cup for their first year ever? Talk about a great sports story, just like I was talking about the Yankees. You wouldn't be able to write that stuff up. I'm kind of shooting for it. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. No sports fan should be mad with a story like that. Toronto, 6-1, very scary team. They had Barry Melrose saying the 2 top teams in the East right now are the Pittsburgh Penguins and Tampa Bay, which obviously you can easily say the Pittsburgh Penguins because they have 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups, and you have Tampa Bay who's on top of the Atlantic. But how is Toronto Maple Leafs not a contender in this East? And not only that, how dominant they're playing. They're so young, and they're going to be like this for years, and their head coach might be the best coach in the National Hockey League. I don't get it. Montreal off to a tough 1-5 start. Buffalo 1-4-2. The Caps are now 3-1. Now, I know it's kind of early with this Flyers squad, but I like what we have. I like the way we are playing. We're only 7 games in. We're sitting at 4-3, but we are contending with good teams. Nashville is a good team, and you're not going to win every night, and there's going to be some games where you just can't put the puck in the net, like last night. But I like our line combinations, I like our players, and I like the way we're playing style-wise, and our goaltending looks good. Our first line, Claude Giroux, Sean Couturier, and Voracek. Coots is playing phenomenal. He's playing really good. He's getting grindy in front of the net. He's scoring goals like that, kind of like you'd see Wayne Simmons scoring. Speaking of Wayne Simmons, he's playing great. He's playing with Filppula and Jordan Wheel. Our third line with some young guys with Nolan Patrick, who sees the ice like no one I've seen before. A few nights ago, he made a pass. Goalie was down. The Panthers goalie, Luongo, was down. Puck was sitting right in the slot. Instead of shooting it, he does like a drop pass between the legs. It was beautiful. Who has the poise to do that? I would have been so nervous, we probably would have put it in the upper netting. So you have Nolan Patrick centering Konechny and Dale Weiss. I like that line. That's some depth, though. That's some depth that this team hasn't seen in the recent past. On D, you got Provorov with Andrew McDonald, Shane Gostisbehere with Hag, Sanheim with Gudis. I just like where this team is at, and I feel like they can make playoffs. I'm shocked how they're playing because I thought we were going to be a bubble team. But the way we've started out this season, we look really good. Really good. And our problem is always goaltending. And it seems we're doing a lot of constant switching back and forth and we're not sticking with one goalie. And I know Elliott is getting old, so maybe it's to save him for later into the season because it's a long 82-game stretch. And I get it. It seems that Hackstall likes to do that a lot. He likes to flip-flop goalies back and forth. But I can't complain because, hey, Neuwirth isn't playing that bad. You hold a team to 1 goal last night. I mean, you have 0 to go for you, so it's not like it's his fault. And I think Elliott looks really good, though. I'm shocked on how he came here and started to play. Is there really a true goalie battle right now? Or is he just trying to give them rest throughout the season for whoever wins the battle later on when it comes down to to the stretch? I don't know. But we will see. We'll continue to watch. It's a nice off night tonight because we got the Sixers to watch. And then I think they play... When do the Flyers play their next home game? Saturday at 1 o'clock against Edmonton. Nice afternoon tilt at the Wells. So, let's end this episode here. We talked Sixers, we talked Flyers, we talked an amazing Thursday night football game, we talked some postseason baseball. I can't wait to do it again. You can follow me on Twitter at sportsandbrodes to find out when my latest episodes drop and other news. You can call into the show using your voice recording app and send it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com. It's essentially leaving me a voicemail, and I implement it into the show. You can talk to me about anything you want sports related. Thank you all for listening, and see you next time.